the other two were sentenced to death. I'm against the death penalty. I was there with a group of people when they killed the first one about 4 months ago in Huntsville, Texas. I stood outside of there with a prayer vigil and said, you know, killing by the state is wrong. You give me life in jail, and that's punishment. When you give me death, that's revenge. And so I don't draw the line or worry. Truth don't never have to be validated by ignorance. And the people who contacted me and didn't understand, I don't do things according to your understand. Killing is wrong by the state. Now, I say that to preference why I went to jail the other day. The rainy season is coming, and there'll be like 300,000 to 600,000 people that will starve to death. That's what I was there for, and I would be there for anybody. Starvation. I was with Bobby Sands. I went there when Bobby Sands was starving himself to death in the jail. I go wherever there seem to be injustices with women and children and talking about eating. I'm not into their politics. A whole lot of people can be into politics and still feed people. I mean, here in America, they talking about 30 million meals a day in schools, and we got politicians here that say, wait a minute, ketchup is a vegetable, pizza is good nutrition, and French fries. My act was, if you go to visit your mother and father and your friends on Thanksgiving and they give you ketchup, pizza, and French fries, you know how they feel about you. And the fact that we would do that to children, I believe Hitler would do it to Jews, but I don't believe Hitler would have put that crap in the schools for Germans. So when you look around at a filthy system, that stuff has been going on over and over and over and over again, I never thought I would see the day that I could say I'd rather be killed by someone than kill someone. That's what the civil rights movement did to me. That's where it changed me. John Wayne was my hero, man. I'm 80 years old. We didn't have no television when I was a little boy. And John Wayne said, if you're right and they're wrong, kill them. And then Dr. King came around and said, no. Killing is not right. It's about love. And then I look at the outcome. It is about love. Not love, but can you be lovable? And so if someone had captured brutal people and said they was going to starve them to death, I'd be on the front line and said, no. There's other ways of dealing out justice, and starving people to death is not one of them. That's why I was there, and that's why I was in jail.
Well, let me just be clear. I only brought this up out of the gates because I had noticed that you'd been on the list of arrested people, and I know that you always get behind causes that you believe are good and just, and so I respect you. And I had just been talking last week about Angelina Jolie, who went to the border of Libya there in Tunisia last October and called over and over again for invasion and bombing. And I know that was about destabilizing Africa, so I got very, very angry with her. The UN's constantly caught doing evil things. I understand they talk about a bunch of good stuff they want to do, and then good people like yourself and others give them money, give them time, give them energy. And I saw George Clooney go up there and talk about how, you know, folks are flying over there in Sudan and then dropping bombs on the Christians. And I don't like that. But then I think, okay, George, well, what about our government with drones in 14 countries dropping bombs and saying it's okay to kill 200 people at a wedding as long as you kill one guy you claim was bad? My whole point is, when I see Fox News with George Clooney on, and Fox News is saying, yeah, this is good, let's go in there, I'm like, wait a minute. All I know is this war machine that's run by these big foreign banks, they'll use people's concern about something wrong that's going on, but then actually double-cross everybody. I mean, take Joseph Kony, hadn't been seen in all these years.
Sure.
And now we're hearing, oh, we got to go into there. What about the leader of that country that's been connected? All I'm saying is I've learned that when they tell me we got to attack this country because of WMDs, or we got to go into Sudan because the Muslims are killing the Christians, I know they are. I don't like it. But at the same time, I don't see our government wanting to go in there to actually help people. It's always to get the natural resources. I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
But let me tell you something. You know things that most folks don't know. there's a whole lots of people that get involved, emotional and humanitarian, that don't know the black. I've been knowing Gaddafi been CIA since he was 15 years old. My grandmother don't know that. Huh? I'm one of the people believe, if I'm stupid enough to believe Gaddafi is dead, please, then my mother was Jesus, okay? But this is what you learn from research. This is what you learn from putting, you make the show look easy. But let me tell you something. I bump into people that swear by you because they know when I take it from here, I don't have to worry about the New York Times and the Washington Post. But you worked hard to do that. You worked hard to check and recheck. There's a whole lot of people that don't know. My mother, if she was alive today, she didn't know the King James Version of the Bible. She died for that. She didn't know King James was King of England. She didn't know King James was such a weird, strange homosexual. He hated women so bad he killed his mother. And his lover was Lord Buckingham, who Buckingham Palace is named after. She didn't know that. If my mother walked in your studio today, you think God spit her out. That's how precious and kind and sweet. But if you tried to convince my mother that Jesus Christ wasn't a Christian, she'd stomp you to death. But she didn't know Christianity never happened till 100 years after Jesus was dead. So you have a whole lot of people out here that don't have proper information, including my mother if she was alive. And so somewhere when you sit and look at those of us that have the information, in a few weeks, we'll be celebrating the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King on April 4th. Now, you know this, but there's a whole lot of people that's not aware when you see that famous picture, King's laying on the ground, and all of these people's pointing up. Now, come on now. If a shot is fired and I'm on a balcony, we all going to hit the ground. Now, nobody's going to get... How'd they know it wasn't going to be a second shot? And here's Dr. King laying on the ground, and nobody was saying, are you all right? What was it? So, but we see this, and we've been out there dealing with it for years. I'm the one that released the picture with Ron Brown, the Secretary of Commerce, with the bullet in the back of his head, and they couldn't deny it because...
The coroner.
They the ones brought the picture to me, so they couldn't deny it. But you think the New York Times, the Washington Post would run it? Not until I went to jail. Not till I went to jail on Christmas Eve did that story run.
Wow, we should talk about that. Absolutely, I just raised the whole point. So you think George Clooney really means well then with the...
Wait. I'm not getting into that. That's like somebody asking me, says, you think Dick Gregory mean well when he's standing there with this white Klansman that's fixing to get the lecture here? I'm not getting into that.
No, the only reason I ask you is I was getting ready to do a whole video on George Clooney, and I'm really trying to find out whether I should go after him or not. Not for even getting arrested there, but for pushing for military intervention. I do think we should help the people of southern Sudan. It's just that I just don't see... It's like the death penalty. We're going to break, but I want to come back and talk about this with you and get into Ron Brown, get into MLK, RFK, JFK, whatever you want to get into, because you're so well informed on it. All I'm trying to say is that it's like the death penalty. I believe somebody that murders a child, some serial killer, I want him to die. But I can't trust this corrupt government to carry out the execution, because that's an even greater danger. Dick Gregory's our guest. We'll be right back with him on the other side of this quick break. You can say what you want about Dick Gregory, but he really is an iconic figure. He was part of Wounded Knee while they were shooting the place up, from what I was reading. Thousands of rounds of ammo poured in there. He went in there to be peacefully stand with those that were under attack. I mean, he's been everywhere and done everything. They've got that Johnny Cash song, I've Been Everywhere, man. We got interrupted by the break, moving away from Clooney and Darfur and Sudan and that whole nightmare situation over there, expanding on what you were trying to talk about with the Commerce Secretary. I remember it was you that forced it out because the coroners had leaked it. He'd been shot in the head. And, of course, then they guided the plane in. And But tell folks about that story, because there's so many other things you've witnessed. And then I want to ask you about President Obama.
Here's one of the things that when the coroners brought it to me, well, I was really touched. And here's the reason why. It was 7 folks. 1 woman, might have been 2 women, 5 males. One of the males was up to move and to being a general. After that, all of that stopped. I had 7 white folks came to me about a black man who had been murdered, and there was no plane wreck. And I had to ask myself, if you, Dick Gregory, was ready to be elevated to a general in the United States military, and God knows how far you could go, if a white guy had a bullet in the back of his head, would you get involved? Would you get involved with this? At the expense of your family? They did, man. My life has moved me into situations where I've been able to see things. And then I have to question, God, man, how do these... When I'm with Clooney the other day in jail, I'm thinking that's the first time he's ever been to jail. Now, his program while we were there was talking about we got a short window. We had a meeting in the jail. And I said, man, a bell didn't ring inside of me. If you got X amount of weeks before these people, and I said, look, let me tell you, I'm going to eat nothing but liquids until they move that blockade. I'm not interested in the war. That's it. I'm interested in all wars. Right now, look, if I fall out the 18th floor window and I come to your hospital and your doctors and teams are around and I got a broken ankle, a fractured skull, I got cracked ribs, I got all kinds of stuff, and my heart stops, everybody got to stop doing what they're doing to work on my heart. That's where I look at this problem over there. I know what this country's doing. I know, see, most black folks think white supremacy is the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan don't determine public policy. Most white folks don't even understand what white supremacy is. That's why when all these folks say, I saw UFOs, we were shooting at them, I'm the Air Force, can't nobody admit it. Why? Because once you admit that, white supremacy goes out the window, organized religion go out the window, and then we become earthlings. We would be earth people. And there's nothing in my grandma's head that could commit her to believe there could be a Baptist on Mars. So when you sit and look at where this is going and how much information is out here that's been tricked and twisted and all of that, let me tell you, I know stuff about that Kennedy shooting. And if you ever hear me or read anything I say, I'm one of the few people that don't say when he was assassinated. But there's certain things you don't say because you would discredit yourself. I see horror stories out here. When I was in New York on September the 10th and the 11th, because the head of the ACLU for 20 years had been fighting police brutality cases. And now he's running for public something. I'll think of it in a minute. And so a woman called me, a black woman, and she said, look, this white brother here in the last 20 years have cost the New York City about $4 to $5 billion winning and selling police brutality cases. And he's running for a public advocate. And what would it cost you to come in and campaign for him? And said, I'm the one that won it. And I said, no, I know him. I'll do it for free.